Good morning. This is going to be the Aquarius video. And I am letting all the other signs know as well as I make videos that next week is going to be a light week for me because I'm taking some time off. So next week I am only going to make the twin flame video, and I'm going to make the 4 elements: the water, fire, earth, and air. And then the second week of August there will be no videos. And when I resume again, I'll start with Gemini, since that's where I left off. So I'm trying to let everybody know that. How's everybody feeling? I know I've been feeling pretty balanced, pretty centered. Last week was my week that was really rough. But I feel pretty good this week. Pretty balanced, pretty peaceful. Every time I say that, though, the shit always hits the fan. Like, oh, so you think you're balanced and whole and complete. Let's show you that you're not. I would like to call in my own soul to help me with this reading. I would like to use my soul energy. And since that is complete, I am choosing my goddess deck. I'm going to pull 6 cards, and then I'll do clarifiers as I go along. Sorry, I'm a little tired this morning. I'm having a frantic week trying to get these bills paid, and I'm going to have a very busy next couple weeks, so that's the reason why I'm not making any videos. I need all my energy to manifest. And that's the thing with manifestation. You have to have plenty of energy. And you also have to be able to clear your energy, which is why I take salt baths and I sage my home. Because I look at it as more like an etch-a-sketch that we create on. And if you find that your vibes have attracted a situation that you did not like, you can shake that etch-a-sketch. And that's how you clear your energy. And I have to do that quite a bit. I'll be like, whoa, I didn't mean to think that. And I'm sorry, I have neighbors, very noisy neighbors across the street, which is why I get up early in the morning and start making videos. But they're getting earlier and earlier with their shit. So if you hear squealing tires and smashing metal, that's what they do. They tear up vehicles in a residential neighborhood all day long. But I'm trying not to focus on it, because whatever we focus on, it grows and we anchor it in. So I've been trying to shake that etch-a-sketch, since somehow I aligned to this situation and it's here to teach me something, and I'm still trying to figure out what. But we have the 8 of Seas, depletion. And basically the energy that I'm getting with this is that what I was talking about depleting yourself. I know when I go to make my videos, sometimes I'm able to get 2 out in a row. And then after that, like, I have to recharge. Usually I have to go out in nature, or I have to take a nap. I have to meditate to connect to my spiritual guidance so that I can recharge. And this is very important because your energy is what you use to manifest with. And the other message that I've been receiving, because I'll feel real balanced and fearless, and I'll be just going along and manifesting all these amazing things in my life, more money and stuff, and then all of a sudden I'll get real fear-based, and I'm like, what is it? Well, my spiritual guidance lately has been to spend less time on social media. I have told the story, I believe, on a couple of my channels of television. When I first got my divorce and I first moved into this little house after 20 years of marriage, I had this really, really nice flat screen TV, really nice. And I used to be a big TV watcher. Like, I would binge watch like a whole series, like, in a day. That was what I did to relax. Well, this is when I was working at the store. And when I was working at the store, my teenage son called me, and he said, Mom, he said, lightning hit, and I heard this loud pop. And now the TV won't come on. I don't know why I didn't have insurance for that damn thing. But make a long story short, my TV went out. So I was like, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and let my cable go for a while. So I started spending more time meditating, more time in nature, watching YouTube videos, like spiritual videos like this one. And I really did start making a lot of progress. And every time I'd go to get a damn TV or something would always happen. Like, it was not meant for me to have a TV. And finally somebody donated a TV to me. It's an older TV because I kind of like that older feel in my home. You know, it's a lot of antiques and stuff. So I didn't really want a modern TV in my living room messing up the vibe. Well, then I wasn't able to get cable, and it didn't have like the thing in the back of it that I could hook a Fire Stick up to, or games. I mean, it's really an old TV. And then I finally got a new TV in my bedroom and was able to get a Fire Stick. But to make a long story short, the message that I got was that TV would have taken away from that time that I needed. And so the same thing, you know, and I'm not taking away from social media, but every time I spend a lot of time on social media, it does lower my vibrations, and it puts me back into that fear-based energy again. And so I'm really trying to balance it, because now I see, you know, I mean, because, you know, think about it. You know, you get to scrolling through your newsfeed and you see all kinds of things that are very lower vibrational. Plus, you know, you get a lot of news that is just not very nice. And then a lot of people posting things. Mostly the main thing is like all the fear-based stuff that people are posting. I absorb that. So do recharge your battery. I'm going to do a clarifier for that. I believe I'm going to pull a Romance Angel card for that 8 of Seas. A lot of love energy. So you have a lot going on in your love life right now, I am sensing. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So if I feel like, you know, some of you have met somebody new, possibly a twin flame, a soulmate. If you are on a twin flame journey, you'll know in about a month. Doesn't take long to figure out that something's different about this connection. And if you are, do check out my twin flame videos. I don't do twin flame videos like anybody else does. But the message that's coming through is that your feelings are real, and that your feelings are mutual, and that it's safe to explore them. But do make sure that you have your cup filled first before you go in. Because otherwise you will be in this needy, desperate energy, like, give to me, fulfill me, that is what that is what you're here for. And this will set the stage for what happens next. Whether your cup is full or your cup isn't full as you approach this situation, which I feel like for a lot of you, you watched enough of my videos that your cup is pretty much full. And that is the reason why you magnetize this situation in. Because when your cup is already full, and I understand I have more Aquarius viewers than I have any other sign. So for some reason, I really, Aquarius people resonate more with my messages. And so I am feeling like your cup was full, but make sure it stays full. How do you make sure it stays full? By not having expectations of this other person that when you first meet somebody, you get these feelings for them, okay? And that's what I'm getting here, these feelings. These feelings are real, but understand you created these feelings. They did not come from this person. Now, are these feelings associated with this person? Yes. But try to stop associating the feelings with them, because otherwise you will get addicted to those feelings that they're giving you, or that you think they're giving you. I use air quotes. We have the Child Innocence card. And I am going to pull a clarifier for that. And I'm going to use my Heart Oracle. Yeah, when I first started this channel, I'm like, are there more Aquarius people in the world than anywhere else? Because I always, Aquarius, and it seems like Sagittarius, really resonate with me. Forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to wait. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. That's the Etch-a-Sketch I was talking about. So with this child innocence, I'm feeling like you're needing to forgive your parents, because there's some childhood trauma coming up that you need to look at. Because otherwise, the series of events that will unfold between you and this new love interest will be that your core wound, whatever that is, that usually comes from childhood, and I'm sensing that is coming from your childhood, whether it be rejection, abandonment, definitely a fear of loss of some kind. When that gets triggered, we resort back to feeling like a helpless child again. And when we start feeling like a helpless child again, we start wanting to control everything. And we do this because we felt so helpless as children. And so that inner control freak takes over because we want to manage and micromanage everything, including this connection. But the message that's coming through is to forgive your parents. Really look back at all the relationships and all the times that this core wound that you have has played out. Get out ahead of it so that these triggers here do not get in the way of this new connection that you have. We have the Isis High Priestess card, and lately I have been channeling a lot of information about God. I've always had a very complicated relationship with God. I've studied many religions. I just really did not resonate with the fact that God was this judgmental old white man in the sky. That was very conditional, that if I didn't do what I was supposed to do, he was going to withhold approval, withhold love. He was going to send me to the fiery pits of hell. It just never resonated with me. And I've always had a problem with authority, as most of us human beings do. And the reason why we have problems with authority is because we are souls first and foremost, free souls, free spirits. And so just to be so confined, and that is why a lot of people do not do well in relationships, why humans were never meant to be monogamous. And the reason why they were never meant to be monogamous is because it's too restrictive. Now, am I saying that we're supposed to be out there screwing around? No, that's not what I mean by monogamous. Although, you can do that if you want to. There's no judgment here. Just saying. No, what that means is don't have so many restrictions and rules on your romantic partner. It's kind of like having a strict parent, like the preacher's child. Preacher's kids are like the worst fucking kids in the world. And the reason why is because they're so rebellious because of those rules and the restrictions. Whereas I always noticed, like, my mom was very strict. My stepdad, it was ridiculous. But I had a friend growing up that she was Catholic, and so she had a lot of siblings, and their parents would literally let them go to their, please don't judge me by saying that I feel like this was a good thing, but I'm just making an example. They were able to go to the refrigerator anytime they wanted as teenagers and get a beer and drink one for dinner. It was like not taboo. So with that being said, when all the other kids were out rebelling, drinking, they're like, yeah, that's not even exciting. We get to drink a beer whenever we want. Now, am I saying let your kids drink beer? No, I'm just making an example. But I'm going to get to this Isis card because I really do have a specific message that's trying to come through. So with this High Priestess and God, I have been listening to the audiobook, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and really learning about the different gods and goddesses. And I was always like, how are there all these gods and goddesses? We are gods and goddesses in human form with amnesia. We have forgotten that we're gods and goddesses. These gods and goddesses that we read about, they were in human form like we are, having experiences, but they were in touch with their powers. We are still sleeping, and we still have not accessed or woke up to the fact that we have powers too. Now, the information I've gotten about God is that God is source energy. It's a power source that we all can tap into, which makes us co-creators. And all these souls, which are these gods and goddesses that are in physical form, form the universe. And understand the soul is a very powerful energy. The soul can be in several places at one time. Like your soul transcends time, space, dimension, all of that. This card here, we have the anchor. And with the anchor, you want to be careful not to anchor just anything into your physical world. So many times people say, ground it, ground it. You don't want to ground all energy. All energy does not need to be grounded because, okay, let's say, for example, you go into that lower energy. Remember I said I get on social media and I go into like those lower vibrations. Do you want to ground that? Do you want to anchor that in? Or do you want to flow and move and shake the Etch-a-Sketch and start again? So do make sure that you're being very careful, because remember, you create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. If you can imagine it, you can create it. So if something does show up that you are not crazy about, that you're like, I don't like this shit, why did I align to it? Shake that Etch-a-Sketch. Take you a salt bath. Shift your focus to something else. Tell yourself something different. Take the sage and go through your home. It really does make a big difference. This really does. Oracle. I'm feeling like you've been seeing lots of signs lately, lots of signs and synchronicities. And the universe is such a magical place. You just have to believe it. And that's part of really going back into this child innocence where you believe in magic. You know, think Disney. You believe in that magic again because you are a god or goddess first and foremost. And whatever's happening in your physical reality is an illusion. Think of the universe as this hologram that really has no meaning until you give meaning to it. And I have been saying this a lot lately. And this is not to take away from other psychics or readers. But I really don't consult other readers anymore for the simple fact that I don't want to go to a psychic and ask them, okay, for example, are my twin flame and I going to be together in the physical realm soon? Okay. So, you know, then they draw cards and they say, yes, it's going to happen this fall. For one thing, time is an illusion. Second of all, I have the power to make this happen. I have to do my inner work first because, you know, the twin flame journey is a little different. But I would much rather somebody tell me how to make it happen, because remember, whatever we believe to be true is true. So tell me how, or tell me what kind of blocks I have in the way. Like, oh, so, you know, my fear of rejection is getting in the way and I need to work on it. And this stems from childhood. Okay, good. That's what I'll need to work on. Because nothing has any meaning until we give it meaning. So let's say, for example, you have, you know, your love interest, right? Okay. And maybe you haven't heard from them for like 3 days. And so you automatically think, oh man, they must have somebody else. Guess what happens? They've got somebody else now because you thought it, you created it. What about the next time that happens? You're just like, you know what? It is what it is. Everything is perfect as it is right now. I don't need to label it. I don't need to put any meaning on it, because you know what? When I do that, I limit it to only that one particular outcome. Maybe it's that they need a little space, you know, right now so that they can process their feelings for you. This is particularly true in the case of men. Men, when they go into that deeper layer of intimacy, they have to pull back for a while. They have to have that space and let them rubber band back to you. So if you're a male watching this, that's perfectly fine if you're doing this. It's being divinely guided. If you have not read John Gray's Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, he talks about this rubber band effect and letting men go into their man cave so that they can process their feelings. You go after them, they're going to be like, whoa, I was right to pull away because maybe this person is not the right person for me. But then, at the same time, if you've done that, don't freak out, don't panic. Shake that Etch-a-Sketch. It's really, literally that simple. It's called taking your power back. Don't let anybody take your power from you, and don't render yourself powerless to fate or to rolling the dice because you were the one. Gift, divine inspiration, and awakening. So that clarifies the oracle card. So yes, you are spiritually awakening. And I'm getting that a lot of you, I feel like a lot of the people that watch my videos are on a twin flame journey. And the reason why I say that is in order for my messages to resonate with you, you have to have a certain level of spiritual awakening. And having soul recognition with the physical form of your twin flame in the physical realm is the first step to ascension. The rest of you that are not on a twin flame journey understand everyone is and has a twin flame. Possibly some sort of traumatic event sort of prompted your spiritual awakening. Sometimes it's the loss of a loved one. I really feel like the loss of my mom is really what started this. And then 2 years after that, I met the physical form of my twin flame in the physical realm. The other thing is maybe you've always been open to the spirit realm. You've always been open-minded. Maybe your parents were. And so you heard these things. You heard a lot of stuff. And so you kind of had a foundation. So I'm getting this is true for some of you. Meditation is very important. Very important. You don't have to do all that humming and chanting. You can literally just sit in a quiet place and be present and practice being instead of doing. And clear your mind. Clearing your mind is so important because your mind is where you're creating at with your imagination. And we have the Ten of Seas, purity. And this is achieving that pure love that is fearless. No fears whatsoever. No fears of loss. Imagine the person that you love learning to really love and receive love in return, and most of all to love yourself and to not ever be scared of losing them, and to not be so scared that you feel like you have to suffocate them and hold on to them so tight because you need that control because your fears are taking over. Imagine not doing any of that, just being in a place of pure love. Because believe it or not, the key to this kind of love is removing the rules and restrictions, because guess what happens when you do that? The whole paradox is they want to be with you because anybody else they're not going to have that with. So, if you feel like you loosen your grip, that you're going to lose them to somebody else, no. It's just the opposite. River movement. So definitely go with the flow right now. Because remember I said you want the energy to move. You don't want to anchor in anything right now. Just go with the flow and just trust and believe that everything that's happening right now is happening for your highest good. Tell yourself daily, everything is as it should be and is perfect at any given moment. And everything that's happening is here to serve me. This is so important. And even if something comes up, you're like, damn. You know what? It's evidently something that needed to happen to take you one step closer to your goal. So do look at it. Because That is the key, because I feel like anything that's showing up right now in your physical reality, for one thing, you're creating it, so be responsible for your own energy and stop placing blame on others. Second of all, it's here to show you your subconscious, your shadow side, things that are hidden there. Think yin and yang, think the black and the white sides of the yin and the yang. The white side is basically your conscious, and the black side is basically your subconscious. Now, is one side better than the other? No, they're equal, and they have to be balanced. You can also look at both parts of the yin and the yang as the feminine and the masculine energy. There's two ways to look at that, but I always kind of look at the yin and the yang also as like the moon and the sun, and that's the reason why one side is not better than the other one. You know, we might have wounding or some sort of pain that's in our feminine energy or our masculine energy. So I do feel like whatever's happening right now is here to show you that so you can balance that out. And then also, the yin and the yang is here to show you that there's no separation. Separation's an illusion. That you actually have both parts inside of you, the masculine and the feminine. You are the masculine and the feminine. And lately the theme has been healing the feminine energy, mother regeneration. And so I do feel like that is the healing of the feminine energy. The feminine energy has been, and I feel like this is where most of the core wounds are, because the feminine energy has been oppressed. The feminine energy in the masculine, for example, boys are taught that they're not supposed to cry, they're not supposed to show emotions because this shows weakness. Because the female is seen as the weaker vessel because she is emotional. When actually, anytime trauma or some sort of tragic event happens in a family, who is the cornerstone? Who is the pillar of strength in the family? It's usually the mother, the grandmother, the aunts. Because women are so much stronger emotionally than men are. That's the reason why when a man reaches that new level of intimacy, he has to go into his man cave in order to process it, because he's not used to dealing with emotions. So be patient with them. Because the feminine side, the feminine energy is healing right now. And this is the magical energy that's going to heal the planet once we balance and heal our feminine energy. This is what we need, because this is the healing energy that the universe needs. I need one more card, and I'm going to use these right here, my universal messages. And then I'll pull a postcard, even though the same postcard's been finding its way out all week. No matter how many times I shuffle it, it's crazy. I am the dreamer of my dream. So do follow your intuition. And your intuition, make sure this is the right side up. Your intuition is your feelings. It is your feminine side. That's why females are so much more intuitive than men are. And so definitely follow your feelings, what feels right, and understand you're creating. This is that if you can imagine it, you can create it. You know, you are the dreamer of your dream, and take back your power. Be this god or goddess that you are, this co-creative god or goddess. Make sure that same card doesn't make its way out. If you would like a personal reading, they're $40 right now, all the way across the board. Whether it be twin flames, past lives, which are pretty much my specialties, or any other area to know what's blocking you in areas of love or money. I'll include that in the description of the video. Dearest you, you're in such a good shape right now that we're all doing a happy dance. See, I told you I felt like y'all have done a lot of work. In this moment, you have the power to make a choice, to get with Spirit and co-create a miracle. You may wonder where this is all going, but if you want to manifest your desires for the highest good, you need to stay focused on the now. Meditation. All power is in the present moment. Ask yourself, what are your dominant thoughts right now? What beliefs are you motivated by? Do you have clarity right now? How is your conscious contact with the divine? Are you plugged in, or are you trying to do life all by your small self? Get rid of negative energy now. Resentments be gone. Forgiveness and love enter and please. You can do your life beautifully and create the most beautiful future right now, right here in this moment. Aren't you thrilled to know you have a huge cheering section over here? Love and hugs always. So I do feel like that goes back to this forgiveness, and it has to do with your childhood. Because remember, we had the child innocence card clarified by the forgiveness. So I do feel like that reinforced that message. So go forgive your parents. And thank you for watching.